Imagine your brain as a house, not a shiny new one, but an old, cozy one that's seen a few renovations. It's packed with memories, plans, and ideas, just like a house full of rooms and storage spaces. But here's the thing, all that information isn't neatly filed away. Instead, it's scattered everywhere, and your brain has developed some pretty complex systems to manage it all. Sometimes, though, these systems get a bit overwhelmed. When that happens, it's like your house becoming cluttered and chaotic. If you can't find your keys, you lose track of what you were saying, and your productivity takes a hit. Everything you've planned and dreamed of seems out of reach because your mind feels all over the place. But why does this happen? Well, think of your brain like that old house. To get organized, you need to understand how it's put together, which walls are load-bearing, and where the water pipes run. If you want to make improvements like adding central heating or building a new patio. Similarly, to get your life organized, you need to understand how your mind works. In today's extract, The Organized Mind by Daniel Levitin, we're diving into the concept of the organized mind. I'll share tips and insights on how you can take charge of your brain's essential information to clutter your mental space and get on track to achieving your goals. So, if you're ready to transform your chaotic house into a well-organized home, stick around. Let's get started on this journey to a more organized, productive, and fulfilling life. Our brain processes information through various systems, with one of the most crucial being the attentional system. This system determines how we handle and organize information, essentially managing everything we pay attention to. Imagine your brain as an old, creaky house. The attentional system is like one of the main pillars holding it all together. Over thousands of years, evolution has refined this system, leading to one simple truth. Our brains evolved to focus on one thing at a time, and that thing was always the most important. Picture our ancient ancestors. Thousands of years ago, they might have been hiding in the bushes, spears in hand, hunting a woolly mammoth. In those critical moments, it was a matter of life and death for them to set aside distractions and focus entirely on their prey. Only the most important stimuli, like an approaching predator, would disrupt their focus and grab their attention. Today, however, we place immense stress on our attentional system because our brains aren't designed to handle the constant barrage of information we face daily. We'd often try to juggle multiple tasks at once, driving, listening to the radio, and thinking about an upcoming meeting, for instance. Here's the crux. Our brain can only focus on a limited number of stimuli at a time. This limitation is evident in how our brain responds more readily to changes than constants. To illustrate, imagine you're driving and suddenly feel the road become bumpy. A moment ago, you weren't even thinking about how smooth the road was because that wasn't noteworthy. However, when the road turns bumpy, your brain immediately takes notice, signaling potential danger like a treacherous path or a flat tire. In essence, the brain zeroes in on what's different and potentially hazardous while ignoring the familiar and safe. So remember, our brain focuses on what's most important, and this focus is limited to a few stimuli at a time. Every day, we face countless decisions. Should we choose a cheaper internet plan or pay extra for unlimited data? Do we answer emails now or read our texts first? These decisions bombard us almost every minute. The key idea here is that we're swimming in a sea of information, which forces us to make more and more decisions. So, how do our brains handle this constant stream of choices when they evolved to process one thing at a time? The trick lies in focusing our attention. Our brains naturally zoom in on the most crucial information. For example, imagine you're on a busy street and your dog, Fifi, slips her leash. Amid the chaos of people, cars, and buildings, your brain zeroes in on anything that looks like Fifi, knee-high, fluffy, and brown, helping you find her quickly. It ignores unnecessary details to help you focus on what's important. However, when we overload our brains with too much information and too many decisions, we struggle. We keep switching our attention from one task to another, causing our brains to sputter and ultimately fail. Our brains work best when they can concentrate on just a few things. To manage our decisions effectively, we need to streamline them. We shouldn't let small, everyday decisions weigh us down. Instead, find shortcuts and ways to simplify your decision-making process. For instance, consider making decisions about spending money to make life easier. A good strategy is to evaluate the monetary value of your time. If you're debating whether to hire someone to clean your home, Ask yourself if you pay $50 for 2 extra hours of free time. If the answer is yes, then go for it. Don't waste hours agonizing over it. By focusing on what's important and finding ways to simplify decisions, you can navigate the flood of information and make life a bit easier. Imagine this: the taxi is outside, ready to whisk you away. You got just enough time to catch your flight. Your itinerary is set, you got cash, and your favorite t-shirt is definitely packed. Your partner and kids are loading the bags, and you're doing a quick check to make sure you have the passports. But wait, where are your keys? They were in your pants. Now you're frantically searching. We've all been there. Keys, glasses, phone, and favorite pen. These essential items seem to disappear just when we need them most. It's not a mystery why we lose them so often. We carry them everywhere, making them easy to misplace. In contrast, things like toothbrushes, which stay put in one spot, rarely go missing. Here's a simple solution. Designate a specific spot for every single object. Create a home for your keys like a bowl by the door. Keep your glasses in a particular drawer at your desk. You can even buy duplicates to minimize the hassle. Why do our brains fail us this way? There's a part of our brain called the hippocampus that helps us remember locations. For our ancestors, it was crucial for survival, helping them remember where to find water or avoid predators. Researchers have found that London taxi drivers, who memorize the entire city map, have larger hippocampi than the average person. This part of their brain helps them recall precise locations, like where the Natural History Museum is. However, our hippocampus is best at remembering fixed locations, not mobile items like keys. So, to save yourself from the last-minute panic of searching for your essentials, just assign a designated spot for each item. It's a simple habit that can save you a lot of frustration. So far, we've explored how our brain's old systems handle memory and focus. Now, let's dive into making your brain work more efficiently by organizing your thoughts. Imagine you're given a work project. You have tons of ideas and plans swirling around in your mind. What's the best way to manage all this? The trick is to get those ideas out of your head. Our brains are designed to focus on a few things at a time, so holding on to everything can be overwhelming. The key message here is organize your ideas outside your head. This might seem abstract, but it's simple. Write things down. Old school flashcards can be a fantastic tool for this. They help you quickly jot down and organize ideas as they pop up. For instance, if you're on the bus and suddenly remember you need to buy a birthday present for your grandma, you could stress all day about remembering it. But why put yourself through that? Just write it down, and you free your mind from the worry of forgetting. If a task comes to mind that you can do immediately, like calling your grandma to wish her a happy birthday, do it right away. This brings us to the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. If it takes longer, write it down for later. Another great way to ease your mental load is to categorize your written thoughts. Think about how your brain identifies a bird. Whether it's a hawk or an eagle, it quickly recognizes it as a bird. You can use a similar system for your notes. Every so often, gather your notes and sort them into categories like personal, work, or family. By organizing your ideas this way, you keep them accessible and manageable. This approach makes it easier to focus and ensures nothing slips through the cracks. Organizing our thoughts and lives often means creating specific categories for different things. But what about those odds and ends that don't seem to fit anywhere? That's where the concept of a junk drawer comes in handy. The human brain loves categorizing, and this tendency extends to our living spaces. Most of us have at least one spot in our home, a drawer, a box, or a shelf, where we stow random items like spare light bulbs, paper clips, or car cleaning supplies. Instead of giving each type of item its own special place, it makes more sense to group them together for efficiency. This idea isn't just for home use. It can be valuable at work too. Think about creating a miscellaneous folder on your computer for documents that don't fit neatly into other categories, but are still too important to delete. The key to making junk drawers effective is to revisit them regularly. Checking these drawers from time to time helps you keep track of what's in there and gives you a chance to declutter. If you find things you haven't used in a while, it's a sign you probably won't need them in the future, so toss them out. On the flip side, if you notice certain items accumulating, it might be time to give them their own dedicated space. For example, if you find a lot of light bulbs, consider getting a small box just for them. Interestingly, junk drawers can also be a source of unexpected treasures. If you pick up a new hobby like scrapbooking, you might find that your junk drawer holds supplies that could be repurposed. That extra pair of scissors or roll of double-sided tape could find a new home in your craft supplies. So, embrace the junk drawer. It's a simple yet effective way to keep your space and mind organized. Thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. Today, we talked about how our brains are wired to handle only a few things at once. So be kind to your brain. Get enough sleep to jot down important stuff, and don't overload it with too much information. By keeping things simple, your brain can focus better on the tasks you give it. Before we wrap up, I want to share some insightful words from Daniel Levitin, who had a great chat with Caitlin Schiller on the Simplify podcast. Caitlin asked him, "What's the one thing we should do for our minds?" Levitin's response was spot on and something we can all take to heart. He said, "Take care of your mind. That means eating a balanced diet with enough protein to keep your neurons working well. Exercise is key too. It helps get oxygen to your brain, just don't overdo it. And of course, good sleep hygiene is crucial. As we age, it's important to avoid getting too comfortable. Try new things and stay curious. That's how we keep our minds sharp and youthful." Isn't that a wonderful reminder? Taking care of our brains isn't just about rest, it's about staying active and curious. So make sure to get enough rest, keep learning, and stay active. It's the best way to keep your brain happy and healthy. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Sign up for our weekly newsletter for a one-page summary of this extract. Stay curious, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.